This next example deals with a percentage change. It says Jason's investment of $12,000 is now worth $11,160. What was his percentage loss? So if you're talking about a percentage gained or percentage lost, those are lumped together as percentage change. And when you're dealing with percentage change, there's a pretty straightforward formula that I'm going to give you here. So again, anytime you're dealing with percentage change, you have this formula. And I simplify it to this: new minus old divided by old. That's going to give you a decimal times 100. That gives you the percentage. So let me show you how this formula would work in the context of this problem here. His original investment, that's our old amount, was $12,000. It's now worth $11,160. That's the new amount. So plugging into this formula, we have $11,160 minus $12,000 divided by the $12,000, that's the old amount, times 100. This is all going to be calculator work from here on out. So let me pull up my little calculator. 11,160 minus 12,000. That negative indicates it's a percentage loss. That's why it's negative there. We're going to divide that by the 12,000. So that gives me a decimal. To turn it into a percent, I multiply by 100. Again, the negative just means it's a loss. So this gives me a -7. So his percentage loss up here was 7%. And again, the negative just indicates it's a loss. Looking at this next example, it says Acme Electric in Boise, Idaho purchases hot water heaters at wholesale for $185 each and sells them after marking up the wholesale price by 45%. Since Idaho has a 5% sales tax, how much would you have to pay Acme for one of its water heaters? I'm going to do this problem in two parts. I'm going to first find the retail price of one of these water heaters. So it says Acme is going to mark up the wholesale price by 45%. So the wholesale price is $185. Then Acme is going to raise that amount by another 45%. So 45% of 185. That's 0.45 times 185. So I'll go to the calculator. We have 0.45 times 185. So that means they're marking it up by $83.25. Add that to the wholesale price. So that means Acme will charge $268.25 for one of its water heaters. Now let's go to the second sentence. Since Idaho has a 5% sales tax, how much would you have to pay for one of these water heaters? So after tax, you're going to pay that sales price, $268.25, plus 5% of that sales price. And again, I'll go to the calculator. So here's the sales price times 5%, 0.05. So in sales tax, we've got another $13.41, rounding to dollars and cents because we're talking about money here. Add that to $268.25. And your price, if you're purchasing it, walking out the door, will be $281.66.